experience when I was growing up was that me and my brother Clarence was sent to Japan as a crew on the ship, one of the ship that Saipan Shipping used to own. And I was a mess boy. In other words, I was working in the kitchen. I was supposed to be washing dishes and cleaning the table and things like that. So
I've been a board member for the last almost 36 years. And then back in 19, when Herman Guerrero passed away, I moved up to become president of the company up to now.
I guess now I've been with the company for over 15 years or so. That's what I am right now. I am director of the company and I'm the treasurer in the organization.
I think Joten back then was they're using the military ship, and he's a merchant, so he goes to Guam back and forth, and he sees that there's an opportunity for shipping. So Joten kind of gather people. There's about five or six. Ricardo Borja, Vicente Camacho, and Herman Guerrero, and Joten. There's 4 or 5. So they incorporated a small company, and they used the Navy ships bringing cargo when they first started. And then they saw an opportunity, and the first ship that Saipan Shipping purchased was Hope. It's a 90-footer, and that's when they first started. So they incorporated, they looked for investors. I think they purchased the Hope back then for $40,000, and that was the first. But Joten was back and forth every monthly. He comes riding on the military ships, bringing merchant.
My dad didn't really have much choice. He started in a business, the retailing business. Obviously, he needs to find a way to bring the goods from Guam, and that's where we were buying our goods. And he had no choice but to find a way to bring the goods, and I think that's how he got started. But it wasn't something that he had in mind. It was basically being a retailer. But to be a retailer, you're supposed to buy goods from someplace. Obviously, there was nobody on the island, so the only place to buy the goods and sell it on Saipan is to go to Guam and bring them here. So it was practically being forced to get into the shipping industry, shipping business, because he has to bring the goods from Guam to here.
Yeah, the old man is really a visionary. He's really think of everything. You have the Saipan Shipping in there, and you need the stevedoring. You know, it's like he wants to make life easier for everybody, spread the resources, spread the wealth. Okay, we need the shipping to bring all this merchandise. We need this stevedoring to deal with this shipping company. It's like everything is like taken care of. And he knows, he was thinking that he was not just thinking for just today, but he was thinking for the long run. You know, he has this future, whatever's the future needs of the CNMI. He's not just thinking for a day.
Well, I'm glad they did it, because if the group of people that got together to set up Sideship hadn't done that, we would be subjected to the whims of maybe somebody from another location. And it's not quite the same. When the people have ownership, they care about it, and this is their island and they care about it. And if it wasn't for them, somebody else would have set up, and it's never quite the same.
I think it's, I sometimes think back to Santiago family and the Tenorio family back in the day that helped put Saipan Shipping together. That's some men with some serious vision right there, because it wasn't like they said to them, you know, none of them had, I'm sure, an education or a background in shipping and logistics, but to have the foresight and vision to say, hey, we need to create a company that's going to provide consistent shipping into our islands, because we need the product, whether it's coming from Japan or especially back in the day, you know, whether it's coming from Japan or Guam or the US, we need consistent shipping into here. So they've had a huge impact. The fact that they're still here after 60 years says a lot about their commitment to the islands. And they're local guys. It's a local family, so of course it's important to them as well, because it's important for their businesses and it's important for their families as well. So I appreciate their commitment to our islands. It means a lot to me personally, someone that's going to be living here for the rest of my life, and also for our businesses here with Triple J.
I think I'm not an expert on their ownership, but I think that kind of helps. But honestly, if it wasn't them, it would have to be somebody. But it wouldn't have to be somebody that's as easy to do business with as they are. They've been in it a long time, and so they're good at what they do. They don't make life difficult for us. It's easy.
But I don't know how did my dad really got that information or got that way of doing business, is to get the people together and form a corporation. And up to today, Saipan Shipping is actually not owned by one family. It was owned by several families on the island. So what my dad did is basically getting people who has extra money to invest